Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch 1. Thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Panerai Radiomir GMT Alarm PAM 98, 42mm, all high-polished stainless steel. This is part of a series that ran from 2001 to 2006. Along with the PAM 46, the 335, the 238, the 242, the 184, this is part of a rare and, quite honestly, very unique series of Panerai dual-time alarm Radiomir models. But perhaps its most extraordinary feature isn't the combination of complications, itself unusual for a Panerai watch, but it's the versatility of the piece on the wrist with a discretion, a refinement, and an ability to play well with formal and informal attire that's just uncommon in any Panerai watch. On my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see it sits close to the skin. It has plenty of clearance from side to side. Well, Panerai pioneered the oversized sports watch in the modern sense and really helped to popularize it. I'll even give them that ergonomically, all their watches wear smaller than their nominal size. The bottom line is no matter how you cut it, the watch looks big. If it's a Panerai, it's going to look big. 44, 45, 47 millimeters. While it wears small, it's going to look too large for those who prefer a discreet timepiece or who want to wear their timepiece with a dress cuff, a long sleeve. The PAM 98 that you see here is the solution to that quandary. If you like the Panerai history, if you like the essential Panerai tool watch look, but you just want something a little bit lower in profile or a better proportional match for a smaller wrist, this PAM 98 GMT Alarm is that watch. You can see it on my wrist from overhead. It's not swelling to overflow the edges of my wrist. The lugs are barely there, being of the traditional Radiomir wire loop type, and from side to side you can see my wrist actually flows out beyond the bounds of the case and the lugs on both sides. So if you wanted to wear this watch on a smaller wrist below 16 centimeters, even down to something like 14 centimeters or 5.5 inches, you're good to go with this PAM 98 because it is discreetly proportioned in a way that no full-size Luminor, especially in the original Bettini tuna can case, could ever be. And moreover, it has a beautiful and supple alligator skin strap with a contrasting hand stitch. And you'll notice a unique feature because of the discrete 42mm proportions of the watch. Let's remember, this is not an undersized vintage dress watch. We're still talking about a 42mm steel sports watch. But you get a beautiful flow of the strap into the flow of the case, into the flare of the case, and then it tapers down and away, running out the strap on the other side. It has a continuity to it, an integrated look that you just don't get on the big, bold, integrated lugs of a huge 1940 case Radiomir or an immense 1950 case Luminor. So there's a proportionality here that makes this watch more elegant, better suited for formal attire should you choose to wear it that way. There's also a gorgeous and very delicate looking pin buckle. Now it's not delicate in its construction, it's very robust, but it doesn't have the brutal shape of the almost overwhelming brushed trapezoidal pin buckles that you see on a lot of the Panerai Luminor models. Again, brutal is just the word that comes to mind when I think of those. Likewise, a deployant clasp, while arguably more formal, just would cut too large a profile, have too much mass to it to pair well with this quite pared down and spare PAM 98 case. The nice thing about this watch though is that all of the essential Panerai features are here. Big, bold, high visibility, excellent simplicity to the baton indices. You have the Arabic numerals at 9 and 12, clearly visible, glows like a torch at night, excellent legibility during the day. Even the complications are discreet and they don't spoil the essential aesthetic of the watch. Now you can see the GMT or second time zone function right here at 6 o'clock on the dial, integrated discreetly so that it's there when you want it but mostly transparent when you don't. Now it is a second time zone. It can be set independently of the local hour hands at center, so you can have two different time zones or you can use it as an AM/PM indicator for local hours. Since the disc does include 24 hours, you could have it set to distinguish between, for instance, 4 p.m. and 4 a.m. Likewise, a jump date at 3 o'clock, but again, low profile. The Cyclops Eye magnifier is mounted inside the Sapphire, so it's not visually or physically obtrusive the way it can be on a Rolex Oyster case. Likewise, the date is a monotone black, just like the GMT disc, so it blends in. You've got a gorgeous vintage style railroad chapter ring around the hour track that is calibrated for the 60 minutes of the hour, and it helps to compound the vintage impression that this watch conveys. That sector or railroad style chaptering is something you tend to see on early 20th century watches, and it really tops off the look, really complements it perfectly in the case of this PAM 98. You also have an interesting broad 12-hour chaptering around the extremity of the dial, and that's actually the index you'll use to set the alarm function, represented by a small triangular polished hand right here at 5. So that's your 12-hour scale for setting the alarm. And in my experience with these caliber 59 alarm Radiomir models, you can set the alarm to a resolution of about 5 minutes, which should be plenty of accuracy for anything that doesn't involve life, death, or a space program. So the bottom line is, even the alarm function is very discreet, and the calibration scale helps to give depth to the dial. Now on the case back, sapphire display, you can see the Girard-Perregaux caliber 59P. It's been a long time since we've seen this one in a Panerai watch, so it is itself a bit of an exotic and a rarity. It's based on 1970s Adolf Schild caliber 5008, so it actually has an interesting history behind it that goes back quite a few decades. It's a true veteran, but it's tough, it's accurate, automatic, alarm, dual time, jump date, 31 joules, a modern 28,800 vibration per hour beat rate, so it's even pretty accurate, and it gives you a little bonus with a 47-hour power reserve, which is a solid 5 more than the industry standard 42. This is a watch that brings a lot to the table. As a complication, it's unusual in the Panerai catalog. As a beautifully proportioned watch for a smaller wrist, likewise unusual. And as a watch with the versatility to play well with a business suit or bathing suit, to go out to dinner or out to the beach, this Panerai Radiomir GMT Alarm is a watch that could be considered a jack of all trades, but a master of many. It's an outstanding option for someone who likes the Panerai history, but again, just doesn't want to have the oversized watch on his wrist. And this GMT Alarm PAM 98 gives you that flexibility, it gives you an option, and it also gives you a Panerai model that you will not see at your next watch club meeting. I guarantee, among Paneristi, this watch is respected, but it's rarely seen. However, you can see it in high-resolution images on our website, Watch You Want.